Hi, this is James Vargon with, I believe, the 27th edition of the nightly Newsfeed Wrap-Up. And, what's up? What? Oh, she wants to see. Um, uh, there they are. It's full of water. And, they're sitting on two stumps that I collected from well, I live in a neighborhood where they take good care of the trees, and they try to make a good neighborhood, and the trees that don't do so well, they cut them apart. So I hauled in a few logs this morning, but you can see that we have a nice pond going here, and they are very happy on their stumps. Okay, so yeah, tonight is the focus on the Talmud. What can I say? The Talmud. I'll say this to you in America. If you catch your pastor quoting from the Talmud, you better bitch slap him or her and haul him or her to the ground and put your hand around his or her throat and gently press and say, "Excuse me, Pastor, did you just quote from the Talmud?" Because this is what the Talmud has to say. It's vast, it's sprawling, it's huge. I'm just going to dive in here. Arobin 21b, whoever disobeys the rabbis deserves death and will be punished by being boiled in hot excrement in hell. Lovely book. Sanhedrin 58b, if a Gentile hits a Jew, the Gentile must be killed. I guess that explains Israel. Sanhedrin 57a, a Jew need not pay a Gentile the wages owed him for work. I guess that explains Jewish behavior across the world. Baba Kama 37b, Baba Kama Waba Wama blah 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 blah. If a Jew finds an object lost by a Gentile, it does not have to be returned. Sanhedrin 76a, God will not spare a Jew who marries his daughter to an old man or takes a wife for his infant son or returns a lost article to a Gentile. Sanhedrin 57a, when a Jew murders a Gentile, there will be no death penalty. What a Jew steals from a Gentile, he may keep. This is their religion, folks. This is what they believe. And they hate you. And they hate me. Baba Kama blah 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 37b, the Gentiles are outside the protection of the law, and God has exposed their money to Israel. That's in the book, folks. That's in the Talmud. Baba Kama blah 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 113a, Jews may use lies, subterfuges to circumvent a Gentile. Yebamoth 98a, all Gentile children are animals. Avodah Zarah 22a to 22b, Gentiles prefer sex with cows. Well, I prefer sex with a cow with sex with a... I would prefer sex with a cow to sex with a Jew. S. Sanhedrin 106a says Jesus' mother was a whore. She who was the descendant of princes and governors played the harlot with carpenters. Also in footnote number 2 to Shabbat 104b of the Sonkino edition, it is stated that in the uncensored text of the Talmud, it is written that Jesus' mother, Miriam the hairdresser, had sex with many men. Yeah. Gloats over Christ dying young. A passage from Sanhedrin 106 gloats over the early age at which Jesus died. Hast thou heard how Balaam Jesus was? He replied, it is actually stated, but since it is written, bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, it follows that he was 33 or 34 years old. Jesus in the Talmud. Horrible blasphemies against Jesus Christ. Number one, he and his disciples practiced sorcery and black magic, led Jews astray into idolatry, and were sponsored by foreign Gentile powers for the purpose of subverting Jewish worship to Lucifer. 2, he was sexually immoral, worshipped statues of stone, was cut off from the Jewish people for his wickedness, and refused to repent. 3, he learned witchcraft in Egypt, and to perform miracles used procedures that involved cutting his flesh, which is also explicitly banned in the Bible. This is in the Talmud, the holy book of the Jews, folks. Gittin 57a says Jesus is in hell being boiled in hot excrement. Next time you meet a practicing Jew, ask where Jesus is. And while you're on it, ask if he's a human or if she's a human. Because Hu in Hebrew means monster. And they conned the rest of us into using the word human. And if you ask them if they are human, they will, if they're pressed into a corner about it, they'll say yes, and they'll spit out a Hebrew phrase that means I cancel it. Sanhedrin 43a says Jesus was executed because he practiced sorcery. I'm going to move on to another tab. This is from Rents. Talmudic quotes. Libra David 37. A Jew should and must make a false oath when the Goyim asks if our books contain anything against them. You must lie. This is what their God says. You must lie if your demonized counterpart asks if your book contains something against him. Yeah. Zohar told, oh no, this is Simeon Hadarson, FOL.56-D. When the Messiah comes, every Jew will have 2,800 slaves. Yeah. On the house of the Goy, Goy means unclean and is the disparaging term for a non-Jew. On the house of the Goy, one looks as on the fold of cattle, and you wonder why you pay fucking taxes. School 156. When a Jew has a Gentile in his clutches, Another Jew may go to the same Gentile, lend him money, and in turn deceive him, so that the Gentile shall be ruined. For the property of a Gentile, according to our law, belongs to no one, and the first Jew that passes has full right to seize it. What more do you fucking need, folks? Ten and a half minutes. And this is the skin of the whale. Koskenham 388,15. If it can be proven that someone has given the money of Israelites to the Goyim, a way must be found after prudent consideration to wipe him off the face of the earth. Yeah. The Talmud, folks. It's an endless treasure trove of filth and hatred and bile, and basically the people that follow it, the people that follow this book and who enact its policies should be incarcerated on an island where they are given tools of destruction to turn on each other and destroy each other. And then the world would be a better place. A Jew may rob a goy, he may cheat him over a bill, which should not be perceived by him, otherwise the name of God would become dishonored. Chew on that, folks. Chew on that one. I'm drinking a little rosé tonight. Celebrating a successful weekend with my stepson and the duck pond. It's just endless. It's just an endless maze of viciousness. Just vicious, nasty, bile hatred. And it's a Newsfeed roundup of a sort because, you know, like this is probably news to some of you, and it's definitely a feed. Tastes like shit. Jehovah himself studies the Talmud standing. He has such respect for that book. Yeah. Every goy who studies the Talmud and every Jew who helps him in it ought to die. That is Sanhedrin 59a, Aboda Zorah 8-6, Sgiga 13. To communicate anything to a goy about our religious relations would equal to the killing of all Jews, for if the goyim knew what we teach about them, they would kill us openly. Libre David 37. Well, there you have it, folks. There you have it. If we goyim really woke up and really understood what they think about us and how they deal with us, we would slaughter them in the streets. And they even put it in their fucking book. So I've had it. I've fucking had it. Fuck Jews, fuck Talmud, fuck you, Jews, and fuck Talmud. Fuck you to hell where you fucking belong. I've had it. I was plenty patient with you people. And I have a good friend who's a Jew. And either he is just completely out to lunch or he's lying through his teeth, but I still take good care of him because I'm a compassionate person. He's an old man. And he grew up in a Jewish family in the Bronx. And I take care of him when I can. And he's pro-Israel and pro-Zion, and I think he's just I don't know. But I don't think he hates me secretly. So, you know, maybe like some Jews are good, but fuck the Talmud and fuck Luciferian Jews. And fuck their money system and fuck their stranglehold on mankind. I think it's time for me to close out here pretty soon. Thank you and good night.